Audio on, video on, action. All right, time for another reaction video. For those of you who are into politics or not politics, you might want to check this out with Dr. Fauci getting interrogated by Bernie Moreno. Breaking news, Bernie Moreno goes absolute nuclear on Fauci in fierce Senate hearing. You might want to check this guy out because he is livid and pretty much exposing the lies, allegedly. I gotta say allegedly, like everybody else. So you can wanna. Fauci, when it came to the pandemic in 2020, we all know what happened. The 2-year run of being locked up and wearing those ridiculous masks. But anyway, let's proceed and listen to this hearing, because hopefully this is working out, because I had a little bit of a glitch going on when it comes to, but audio on, video on, it is working. So let's proceed and hear it.
It was dead on.
Okay, let's check it out.
Mr. Fauci, do you know who David Schertler is?
Yeah.
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
Fifth Amendment of the Constitution. What does the Fifth Amendment of the Constitution say?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment of the Constitution.
No, I'm just asking you what it says.
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
I'm going to give the Constitution to my aide. He'll bring it over to you so you can have it for future reference. I think it's something that every American should know what the Constitution says. Do you know who wrote the Fifth Amendment?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment of the Constitution.
So you're invoking a right that you don't know who wrote it or what it says. Is that
Oh my
correct?
God!
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
Wow.
Well, let me tell you who David Schertler is for the audience, because he was ejected by the chairman. He's a high-profile criminal attorney. He's represented some really great people, like Senator Bob Menendez. Maybe that's somebody who my Democrat colleagues may remember took gold bars as bribes.
Wow, that's crazy.
From the Egyptians. And there's an article here in the Washington Free Beacon that talks about why you would hire.
All right, I'm going to do a reaction to this guy. I don't really know who Bernie Moreno is, and this is the first time watching him yesterday, and I like the way he operates and the way he conducts his. And you can tell he's very mad, he's very livid about Fauci, and he's giving you the exact, what people want to hear, especially the truthers out there, and the non-believers need to hear this as well, too. So just listen up, because this guy's giving you some truth bombs after truth bombs after truth bombs. Whew.
Like David Schertler, and the comment is, if you're in deep shit, that's who you call.
Oh,
you feel like you're in deep shit?
Oh, yeah, there you go.
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
Clearly, what you think today is that somehow you're above reproach. Somehow you feel like you don't need to be treated like a normal American. Can you do me a favor in the audience and stand up if during the time of the COVID pandemic, you were called a racist for calling the virus a Wuhan virus or the China virus? If you thought the 6-foot rule was total crap, if you thought the vaccine wasn't something that you should take, if you thought it was outrageous the way the mask policy was rolled out, if you were fired from your job for not taking that vaccine, including members of the military, if you thought closing schools was catastrophically stupid, and that you thought that during these times saying these things made you somehow a lesser human being. Dr. Fauci, can you just turn around and look at the people behind you?
Oh, man, he's giving him the
You're not willing to do that?
Oh, boy.
That's not a question. It's not a question. To your lawyer, it's not a question. It's a request. All you have to do is look up from your lawyers and look at the people who were absolutely shamed for saying what we know now to be the truth. You can't even look at them? That's a question. Are you able to look at them? You can sit down in the audience. There was a mom in Ohio during the depth of the coronavirus pandemic, decided to go to her high school football game for her son. They hadn't been out much. The kids had been learning at school, and then the school got shut down. They hadn't really gotten much out of that education, as any parent knew. That remote learning was no learning at all. But it was a Friday night. Her son wanted to go watch a buddy go play football. So they went to the stadium. They sat alone, far from everybody else, just a mom, a dad, a few kids. They didn't feel they needed to wear masks because it was stupid, because they were outside.
It was stupid.
They all live together.
Yeah.
They're not near anybody. Dr. Fauci, do you know what happened to that mom and that family? That's a question.
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
They were dragged out of that stadium and arrested.
Monday CRM
Wow,
is
that's
so inclusive.
brutal, man. When I like this guy and I like the way he operates, man. How he conducts it. This guy's really, man, fierce, man. No holds barred with Bernie
Those policies
Moreno, man.
were put in place because you had moronic politicians
Yeah.
that listened to the words of a megalomaniac who was more interested
Oh man,
in having met a Kardashian
there you go.
than the suffering of the American people.
What's
And that is you.
fame and fortune?
Your advice to communities like that, to idiotic politicians who
Yeah.
enforce those
Oops,
rules,
my bad.
arrested that mom for watching a football game with her own family outside. When that story broke, I said to myself, I cannot stand idly on the side and watch this happen. It was about 6 years ago today that I decided I'm going to give up my businesses,
Wow.
sell them all,
Saw them all.
run for office, run for the United States Senate. Here I am sitting in front of you 6 years later saying, who the fuck do you think you were for doing that?
Wow, nice. Yeah,
It is a total disgrace what you did to this country.
sold all his
And if my
business.
Democrat colleagues are standing there defending you, I hope the voters of the United States of America watch the clips of every one of you doting on a guy who was more interested in being a celebrity than saving American people. I will make it my mission to make certain that every single one of those Democrats who did that will see that clip over and over and over again. Because there is no defense of what you did. You may have had a 50-plus year legacy of public service, but it ends in total and complete disgrace. So let me ask you an opportunity to answer one question. Will you apologize, just apologize,
Nope.
to the people who you harmed through your actions? Will you say, do you have the dignity to just say you're sorry?
On the advice of
There you
counsel,
go.
I respectfully decline to answer based
Guy's
upon
a
my
piece
rights
of
under
work,
the
I
Fifth
tell ya.
Amendment to the Constitution.
So you won't apologize to the military members who Joe Biden summarily dismissed from the military for not taking the vaccine?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
Will you apologize to the business owners that lost their business, shattered their lives, and they'll never recover?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
Will you apologize to the moms who had to force their infant children, 2, 3, 4-year-olds, to put masks on, and what that did and how that traumatized those kids?
Under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
Will you apologize to the family members of the people who died?
That's
because you took
crazy.
their advice and not only got the first vaccine, but the 5, 6 other boosters that they did not need?
To answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
Will you apologize to that mom from Ohio for being arrested for watching a football game with her family?
Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
So you didn't know who wrote the Fifth Amendment. It's James Madison.
Oh my
Lives in
God.
this town.
It's embarrassing, man.
I can only wonder what he would think of somebody like you invoking his writings to shield culpability for the actions that you took. It's no secret why you have to hire the biggest dirtbag attorney on the planet,
That's awesome.
because of what you did.
That
I hope
dirtbag
you're paying
attorney.
him well. And I hope that one way or the other, somewhere, sometime, you answer for your crimes.
Man, that was brutal, man. I tell you, man. I gotta apologize. I'm just gonna give you my reaction. That is probably one of the best things I've ever seen in a very, very long time, because exposing all the what's even corrupt, what's even behind who's pulling the strings and who's really the puppet masters. It's definitely not this bozo the clown here cost thousands of lives, and for him to become, just because wants to be up there and become a star, blah blah blah, he's absolutely ridiculous. He is definitely had it come to him. It's just a matter of time that things are gonna be exposed. Okay, if nothing happens, then we're all gonna go back to day one again, and we're all gonna get, it's gonna go back, it's gonna recycle again like a freaking loop, and we don't want that, because we want to expose all these evil that's corrupt that's going on right now. We all know what's going on, and people can't say it, but this guy right here, Bernie Moreno, good for him. Keep it up. Let's see what Khaled has to say, because
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
let's see.
Well, nothing says honesty like taking the fifth, huh, Doc?
There you go. This guy's
Let's
sweet.
try something.
Hey, Doc.
What day of the week is it today?
He's giving him the rundown, man.
On the advice of counsel,
What is
I
it today?
respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
What color tie you're wearing?
What color tie you wearing?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
What color's the carpet in front of you?
I love it.
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment.
How many eyes do I have?
Let's just get one thing straight. You don't have any rights under the Fifth Amendment because you've been pardoned, as you very well know.
There you go.
As the Supreme Court has been clear for a century and more, Brown versus Walker, 1896, when he has been pardoned, he may not stand upon his privilege. You know that. Your lawyers sitting behind you now shifting nervously in their chairs. They know it. This isn't about the Constitution. This isn't about the law. This is about contempt. Contempt for this body and contempt for the American people. But I think I know why you're doing it. It's because you don't want to answer questions. It's because you did all kinds of terrible things. It's because during the pandemic you got rich, didn't you? You got rich while people were dying, hundreds of thousands of Americans, over 1 million in the end, and you were getting rich. And not only were you doing that, you were using federal employees with taxpayer money to apply for and solicit cash prizes for you personally. Cash prizes totaling over $1 million. You did all of that during the pandemic, didn't you? That's a question.
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
You remember Greg Folkers? Who was that?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
Your chief of staff is the answer. Do you remember Patricia Conrad? Who was that?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
She was your personal assistant. And what were these individuals doing in the depth of the pandemic in November of 2020 when millions of Americans were suffering from COVID? What were they doing? I tell you what they're doing. Folkers was on your behalf soliciting and gathering information for a cash award. Let's look at it. We've got his email right here, right over my shoulder. Volker says, I'm working on this nomination for the Dan David Award for Fauci. We need to beef up the COVID part. Do you have language in the can that you could share that delineates how we responded in new ways to COVID? He sends this to multiple federal employees. What was the Dan David Award? Do you remember, Doc?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
It was a $900,000 cash award.
Oh my God.
$900,000 cash award.
Wow.
And he got it.
Wow.
Because he used federal employees to get it. And this wasn't the only award, was it, Dr. Fauci? In fact, you applied for and received at least 8 other federal cash prizes on federal time using federal employees and federal resources. Here they are over my shoulder. Besides the Dan David Award, you've got the Partnership for Public Service, you've got the Adelson Prize, you've got the Smithsonian Award, you've got the National Academy of Medicine's Award, you've got the CDC Foundation. In fact, you turned your staff into a full-time application machine. You actually wrote to people and said, do you think maybe I'd qualify? And you got cash for all of this. And it wasn't just 1 or 2 employees, was it? In fact, you use 8 separate federal employees on federal time using federal resources to solicit cash awards. Isn't that true?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
Here they are right over my shoulder. Here's all of them. The people that you use, federal employees, so that you could go and get cash money.
Oh my God.
And the most hilarious part is that you weren't content to even dragoon them into applying for all of these cash awards.
Damn.
You then had them go out to the ethics agencies and ethics watchdogs and demand that you be able to get the money. That's right. We've got it in your emails.
Wow.
Your staff and employees on federal time, using federal resources, being paid with federal dollars, are soliciting cash for you, and then they're turning around and saying to the agency, we don't want just an answer, we want to get to yes, because Fauci wants the money. He wants it.
Wow.
We want to get to yes, and yes takes time. This is your chief of staff again, using federal email to pressure the agency's own ethics people so that you could get money. So that you could get rich.
Wow.
And it violated the law. Didn't it, Dr. Fauci?
Wow.
Didn't it? It violated the law, didn't it?
He can't say anything because he knows he can't say anything because he knows it's good. If he says something, he's ready. He goes to jail. If he says the laws, he goes to jail. If he tells the truth, he goes to jail. So he's done. He's cooked.
It is a question. You can answer. Go ahead.
He's
On
cooked.
the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
Federal law, as you very well know, prohibits the solicitation of cash awards or other personal benefits for federal employees. And it certainly prohibits using your own employees to do this. 5 CFR section 2635-205B. It says it right there in black and white. You cannot use federal resources, federal dollars, federal employees, federal offices, federal email, federal time to solicit cash awards, and you did all of it. And the worst part is thousands of people were dying while you were doing it. You were supposed to be the nation's doctor, and you're playing one on TV.
Give it to
This
him.
is what you were doing with your time.
Give it to him, Holly.
That true.
Wow. Get him.
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
Yeah, I can see why.
Yeah.
I can certainly see why. You know what I can't quite figure out is that why you were so obsessed with it, because you're already rich.
Yeah.
I mean, and your scheme worked here.
Yeah.
I mean, your net worth now is north of $12 million.
Wow.
You got over $1 million in cash awards during COVID, during a 12-month, 24-month span during COVID. $1 million you knocked down in cash money using federal resources. Now you're worth more than $12 million. You've got a pension that in its first year paid out north of $400,000 a year.
Damn.
1 million people dead,
Wow.
You're getting rich. 1 million people dead, you're using federal employees to get cash awards for you. 1 million people dead, and you're here taking the fifth because you don't want to admit that what really happened in all that time was a multi-month, multi-year course of self-dealing. Isn't that true, Dr. Fauci?
Oh my God.
On the advice of counsel, I
that's
respectfully
crazy.
decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
Yeah, well, silence is admission. And here's the real thing. At the end of the day, it wasn't just about the money, really, was it? It was really about a power trip.
Yeah.
I mean, through all of this, you want to be the most famous scientist in the world. You were so focused on getting every award and every drop of cash that you could, all because you wanted to be on TV. You wanted to be the sun god of science. You wanted to be the guy who was in
Sun
charge of
god
it
of
all.
science.
You wanted to lambaste Trump. You wanted to make sure that nobody else stole your spotlight. You wanted to be the guy. You had time to sit for InStyle magazine. Here's what you were doing with your time. You could sit for InStyle magazine, but you can't answer questions for the American people. You could sit for InStyle magazine, but you're here taking the fifth.
Yeah.
You could sit for InStyle magazine and get $1 million in cash awards, but now the cat's got your tongue. I bet he does.
Yeah.
I tell you what, here's my conclusion from all of this.
Oh my God.
This was really all about you the whole time. Somewhere along the way, you lost your way. You may have been a good public servant at one time, I don't know. But I can tell you from reading your emails now, from looking at what you did, how you used your employees, somewhere along the line, it became all about you. You became a narcissist and a megalomaniac and a liar. And you've lied to the American people, and you've lied to this body.
Oh, wow.
And you've disgraced your profession by doing it. You called yourself the most famous scientist in the world. You've done more to harm science than anybody in my lifetime. And I hope you'll go home and write that in your diary. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
There you have it, there, ladies and gentlemen. So the cat's out in the bag. This is basically a roast and roasting this fucking evil, demonic piece of crap. Finally, we got a bunch of patriots in the White House, in the Senate. Actually, I like Howley. I like the way he operates. But the other guy, I like him now. I want to get to know more about who he is, and for him to sell all his business to go to be a senator and to be a patriot, to be on the right side of the Lord, of making this world a better place. Hopefully, once they're all falling down like dominoes, hopefully they're all going to get exposed. It's a matter of time. It doesn't take one day to a year to expose all the evil, the corrupt that's going on in this world today, especially the government. But it's going to take, it's like one by one, piece by piece, it's all going to crumble down. And hopefully, they will get their time. So, we'll see what happens there, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for joining me today for this reaction. More videos, commentary coming very shortly on this channel. I'm just going to go no hold, no go. I'm just going to go balls deep on this one, man. This is just, I try not to do politics, but, you know, it always draws me to this because you want to expose all of the evil corruption that's on this world today. And just do the right thing. That's it. That's it. Do the right thing. And you may not like POTUS 45, 47, but he's a man. And men got to stand up together to end this evil, what's corrupting the mind of the people who are innocent and people who are finally starting to do their due diligence and their homework about what's really going on in the world today and who's really pulling the strings. Who wants to be on the right side, not the left side. Bye for now. Bye for now. God bless. Glad to see you. And we'll see you in the next video. Bye for now. Bye.